Hey, Hans. Welcome back.
What's up, Jay?
Same old. So, it's funny. The last time you were sitting right there, you had a different friend next to you, but situation was the same. It was another Mauli Ola event in Long Beach with the students.
Correct.
And a lot of things have changed in here.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. The studio's grown up. I saw my old Polaroid on the wall, which is awesome. And yeah, we're sitting here with Cliff Scudin last time, who is our generous host, who puts us up every year and helps us do what we do with the Mauli Ola Foundation, which is introducing surfing as a natural therapy for cystic fibrosis. And we've been doing this thing for 14 years. This is the first stop of a national tour, so stoked to be back.
Well, welcome back. And now, obviously, that's not Cliff Scudin next to you.
It isn't?
What? He's changed.
He lost
a few pounds and got a few tats.
Yeah.
Well, who's your friend?
He lost his hair.
This is good friend Matt Archibald.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah.
What's going on, Matt?
How you doing, man?
It was a fun day today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
Glad to see you out there. That kid was very stoked with you taking him out in the ocean with Hans today.
Yeah, Harlan, he got some good waves, man. He shredded.
He was
all the way to the beach. I told him, you don't step off that board until you hit the beach.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
He held on. I saw, I think, was it one year or maybe it was Anthony? He went like 87 degrees north.
That was with Anthony.
Yeah, and he held on to that board. I've never seen a board go that much vertical and the kid actually still stick to it.
He had the death grip on it.
But anyway, he said he had the time of his life. His parents were stoked, and I guess that's why we do this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, just to know a little bit about it, that was a local family who came out, but they live a very isolated life living with cystic fibrosis. And they found that the ocean, when a wave breaks, the hypertonic saline, the mist that comes out, it basically mimics their treatments in the hospital, what they have to do at home with the nebulizer. And then they use the percussion vests that shake up the mucus in their chest. So the wave just kind of naturally does it, like that incident right then, and he's jumping around. I mean, that's the therapy. And then, we all know what it does for you spiritually.
Right.
And just to be in the ocean around Mother Nature and do something aspirational like surfing. So I don't know. That was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who gets, more out of it, the kids or us, it's like anybody that, can share that, the feeling of that, like the stoke, I guess you should say, it's a win-win all the way around.
Exactly.
For them, of course, and that's why we're here. And for us too, it brings us, for me, a lot of joy to help others like the kids. And it doesn't matter what age you are. I think we all come out of the ocean feeling the same, like energetic and just super happy and everything's great. You forget everything for a while.
Hans, can you give us a little, maybe a little more in depth about cystic fibrosis? Because maybe, I don't know how many people know much about it, but.
Yeah, cystic fibrosis, it's a pulmonary and digestive disease. It's a genetic disease. Both parents have to be carriers of it.
Really?
And if they have that genetic mutation, basically when they have a kid, they have a 25% chance that their kid might have cystic fibrosis. So yeah, it's something you live with. There's been some great advances in treatment and pharmaceuticals, but we believe that anyways, patients can't be with each other from different families. So the beach is one of the few places that they could actually gather safely. And then we keep everyone 10 feet apart, 10 to 20 on the beach. And yeah, it was proven that the ocean is just a natural therapy. It was a novel idea to take them surfing and promote the idea of surfing. But point being, it's just an easy way. And like Matt was touching on, it's a spiritual activity. It's something that you just kind of forget about your problems. And the fact that they could have some form of connection with other families
right.
in a safe environment. We try to provide that, a bit of community comes with it. So, and that support,
Right.
we're all stoking them out and yelling and hooting and hollering and that kind of stuff's infectious, right?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Matt Archibald, how are you?
All right.
How'd you get involved in coming this year with your buddy Hans?
Well, Hans asked me, him and Rufo asked me last year, and they, I said, well, when is it? And he said, oh, tomorrow. Can you come out tomorrow?
That's right.
That's like typical surfer, you know, but usually we jump right on it, but, you know, as you get a little bit older, you have to, can't jump as quick. But so I said, well, next year, you know, just give me a heads up and I'll come out. I'd love to, you know, because I'd love to anyways, but I just couldn't last year. But so he gave me a couple months this year to heads up, and I said, yeah, I'm in, you know, let's go. And so I'm super stoked to be here.
Have you like helped out at like charity or like nonprofit events like this before? Or just
I helped. I helped out with you know, Israel's thing with the Surfers Healing.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I've worked with them
a bunch of times, and then actually we did a thing for Mauli Ola at Delia Street. It was a little warm up for me. That was like a few months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago. Yeah.
So that was a good little warm up.
That's super cool. 'Cause it's always like, you know, when you're like taking a kid out like that surfing, it's always like like a special, good feeling. So I was just curious if it was like.
And you know, for me, I just get, you know, a little nervous of like, okay, what can I, you know, I don't want to push, you know, do the wrong thing, you know, like, oh, you can't get too close. So it's, you know, it's good to have a little warm up before I came here, so I kind of knew the boundaries and the rules to make sure that everybody's safe and I'm doing the right thing and you know, everything safely, because I hate to do something wrong, you know, and it's
right.
You know,
well,
be a bummer.
Well, my next question is not even a question, but like, you know, everyone was when you were on the boardwalk today, you know, everyone's face lit up.
Yeah.
And Cliff was super excited to see you.
Yeah, dude.
And, you know,
cool.
and I'm like, I've heard of the movie Point Break, and of course I've seen it, but like, you know, I'm not super enmeshed in like surfing, you know, culture. But, you know, when everyone was telling me who you were and you were in the movie, I mean, that's pretty sick, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, tell me a little bit, like, you know, you were in a couple of the surfing scenes. You were.
Yeah, I was Patrick Swayze's double for Point Break. Also had a little speaking part.
What'd you say?
These fucking hair, man. Sorry, puppy.
Was that it?
Yeah, it was Keanu. I was like, they were taking hair samples, and they came up and took some of my hair when I had it, and and so I said that, and then gave him kind of a weird look, and that was it. But that was kind of fun.
Rock, don't move. Got some huge sucker crawling right into your ear. Got it.
Hey, leave some fucking hair, man. What is it?
Saved your life, bro. Close one.
The fun part was I got to do all the surf. I got to teach like Patrick how to surf, and like Keanu and Anthony from the Chili Peppers, and everybody that was there. We all took them and taught them surfing, you know, and taught them how to surf.
That's so crazy.
It was really cool.
Hey, what a crazy time. It's like the 90s, and all those guys you're with were like the guys.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
And
GC.
And Hans, were you kind of around?
Yeah, I was around. I mean, I went to the original casting, and I'll never forget like Archy and Dino and a bunch of guys, and Christian Fletcher were there, and yeah, it was just crazy seeing Patrick Swayze come out smoking cigarettes and a Speedo and a white robe, and this guy Dennis Jarvis was running the casting, and yeah, no, I got the part to play Keanu Reeves' stunt double. Kind of, they sit up and you're kind of like shoulder to shoulder with the guys, and they're like, all right. And they kind of take your measurements and whatnot. And then, yeah, anyways, Keanu Reeves ended up surfing for himself because he kind of played like a detective who was learning to surf. So they didn't need a pro surfer in place to do any kind of radical stunts or anything like that. So, yeah, that was my story. They're like, got my contract ready. I was ready to be in it.
Can you imagine? Jeez.
And I was like, and all these years later, it's funny because I'd be out in like rogue, like out in Scotland or somewhere. I'm like, how'd you learn to surf? They're like, well, we this whole culture of surfing took on surfing because we watched Point Break. And I'm like, no way. And so it's like, I just have these classic regrets because I remember the casting people like, hey, do you want to do this football scene? And I'm like, football, man? Like, I'm a surfer. And I just like, I walked away from it like an idiot.
Oh my God.
I still regret it to this day. I really do.
Yeah, it just became like a cult classic, man. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So where did you two meet? You didn't meet there, obviously. You knew each other before the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of it was like, well, you were on the national team back in the day for a short stint, early amateur days. And then, with the NSSA
days, and then like we only live like 20 minutes from each other. I mean, I'm in San Clemente, he's in Laguna, so we're kind of rivals, but not really, you know, because we're just we're pretty much all friends all up and down the coast there. But
yeah, and lately the board riders, the board riders clubs, which are popping up all over the country.
West Coast board riders.
Coast board riders. It kind of brings all of us older guys together again, and then there's, you know, everything from 14-year-olds to 50-year-olds. So we kind of created a bigger sense of community back in within surfing. You know, it's like you don't just have to be on the world tour anymore to see everybody. So it's kind of nice.
And it's not so serious. Everybody's just like, yeah, man, good seeing you. All right, go, woo. You know, it's not like you're missing a paycheck of like 20 grand or 50 grand or whatever they get. You know, these days it's like, you know, you just get like a attaboy.
Yeah.
You guys,
remember I told you that? I'm like, Mo, you're going to love coming out on the Mauli Ola tour because you're not coming out just to take people's money.
Yeah, I know. I love that one.
You're doing something good. You're giving back. So it's like you show up to towns and everyone wants to see you. They're not like, oh, shit, Archie's here. This guy's going to win this thing, you know?
Give me like a couple little stories. Anything like epic that you maybe anything interesting?
We both did that. I mean, you did the NSSA a long time, right? We both did the NSSA, right? Everybody did the NSSA.
Everyone did the NSSA.
Back in the day. My story is I love surfing and I started surfing and I came onto it pretty quick. And then my buddies, I think it was like Terrence McNulty or someone goes, hey, you should come with me to the NSSA contest. I go, what's that? And then I did it and I like won a couple right off the bat. And then it was the thing to like be on the national team. So I was like, just strive to be on the national team. And then I made the national team and I was like, I don't really want to be on this national team. And anyways, it wasn't just for me. So I ended up turning pro at like 16. And then I did the world tour for a while. And then, I mean, I'm just summing it up pretty quick. But
That's fine. That's cool.
I did the world tour for a while. And then I kind of got burnt out on that. And it just became like more of a free surfer, you know.
Okay.
So I was like contests on and off. But mainly I just wanted to surf because I love surfing so much.
So like in the era you were competing, like, so who were you up against?
When I first started the pro tour, I was with like Rabbit, Sean Thompson, like all the old Dane. I cruised. I traveled the world with Dane Kealoha pretty much, and he was like showed me the ropes, which was, I mean, rad, dude. Even cruising with Dane.
It's a whole other era.
Shane Horan and like Terry Richardson. I mean, all those older guys like that. I think I don't know if MR was still on the tour when I first started. It was a long time ago, and then then it just from there on. I mean, I've been through. I mean, Michael Ho was still on the tour when I was. Derek Ho, and it was pretty cool. I got to with all the guys I looked up to.
Right, they were
all
there.
Of a sudden I was on the tour with them, and they kind of dropped off, and I just kept going, and the rest is history. I mean,
that's really cool.
Yeah, it was. I got to be with all my heroes before they.
What about you, Hans?
That's pretty cool.
And Martin Potter. I don't know if I mentioned Martin Potter. Who's my favorite surfer of all time.
Yeah,
had to put that in there. Come on.
I was lucky. I grew up just down the road from Matt, and like. Very similar to that. I mean, the pro tour gives you something, and we were lucky enough to like be involved with guys like Michael Thompson,
MT,
you know, and guys like Martin Potter, Shane Horan, and you know, I was lucky enough to live in Laguna, so he would always, you know, hey, go pick up Martin, take him surfing, or go take Shane Horan surfing, and so it's just interesting when you grow up looking at these magazines in the late 70s and early 80s and coming of age, and then all of a sudden they're sitting in your passenger seat and you're taking them surfing, and
that's so cool.
That was such a cool influence. And same kind of in a sense, like I like to compete, but I kind of was like always thinking about other people. It was kind of like so animalistic, like just to win. And I just love surfing so much and getting barreled, and you know, I was very influenced by Matt surfing, like just tube riding and surfing waves like off the wall and pipe backdoor. I rarely went left at pipe.
Yeah, no, I always went right too. It's too crowded on the left, man.
Yeah, but at that point, you know, it was able to carve out a little living, and it's more like a lifestyle than a living. I never really approached it very professionally.
Right.
Yeah, me too. They always say they might have made more money, but man, we had more fun. I always say that's my one.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but I kind of stayed in it for a while. Like, you know, it kept me coming back. But the cool thing is, that sense of community globally that kind of you acquire when you kind of put yourself out there and do the sport and kind of follow your passion of it. I'm sure Matt could attest to that. Like just the amount of people you go around the world now, and you got contacts and friends and people you've made, cool. Contacts you made, and just to make a life out of surfing,
right?
That continues. I mean, it's still going.
Dream come true.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, be able to make a living at what you love to do. That's
right. That's like me.
Blessing.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your studio is badass. Man.
Thanks. If you
lots
guys,
to look at.
There is a lot to look at in here.
It's so cool.
I know.
It's like my garage.
Now it's like lived in a little bit than it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
If you guys could surf in any place, around the world, like what is your favorite place if you can be at any spot? Is that a good question?
Yeah, it's a great question.
I'm sure you love your home break, but other than that, like if you could just.
I would surf. I love Hawaii. I love Hawaii so much. I love off the wall, of course. That's my favorite spot. But I like the boat trips. To tell you the truth, I like to be on a boat and not even have to go to land and just paddle over to a wave and just surf for 4 hours. Go and eat a little something. Go out another 4 hours and boom, go to sleep.
All right.
That's it. That's a good trip for me. That's why I'm there. Just surf and.
Hans, where are you going?
Gosh, dream session. I mean, I would dream if somehow you could get surf backdoor, but no one was out.
Yeah.
That would be a dream. Like when you're not dealing with people, or off the wall for that matter.
Well, we can make believe there's nobody there. How's that?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's like a whole nother conversation of like the waves you do. I mean, you were talking about P-Pass and I've been wanting to get there, and that's a place I haven't been, but I kind of dream of waves like Lance is right.
With nobody.
Because I had it with nobody in the late 90s, and it's like to remember it like that and then like think about getting it again. Because you go back, and most recent time I was back, I'm like, oh man, it's different. Everything's changed.
Right.
So many boats, yeah.
Yeah. But it's nice to have those memories and those and dream of it maybe like that. So.
Yeah, I want to just talk maybe a little more about the charity, about Mauli Ola. Like, how many places you guys visit across the country? And you do it, and you do like a tour once a year.
Yeah, once a year. We do about 18 stops. We do Hawaii, we do California, basically from Santa Cruz to San Diego and everywhere in between. And then we start here in New York in the summertime, once the kids get out of school.
Right.
And we drive from New York to Texas and do 7 stops on that. So this is the first stop of those 7. And we like to, we see the kids come from, multiple states. They come from out of state to do it. It's like kind of planned, part of their summer vacation. Same thing in California. There's people from Arizona and other places. So it's pretty cool to see us affect that. And then, the idea too, we tour it in these regions, but it's also kind of educating about it too, know? So we just continue to spread the word and storytell and get more and more kids in the water.
Are you going to ever like expand on the trips, maybe like where you're going, more stops or?
It's funny. We used to, and now I'm like, I know the places that we like, and the people that we like, and kind of almost dial less is more, and you do things better than more,
Okay.
Like you don't always have to do everything. You just do what you do and try to do it well.
I like that. I feel like sometimes I overextend myself.
Yeah.
And then, the wheels fall off a little bit,
Get speed wobbles.
Exactly. Hey, Matt, so what happened? Point Break's over. A year. It's a year out. It's a year post Point Break.
Yeah, right.
You speak to any of those guys?
No, I haven't. Well,
the filming's over. That's it. It's just gone.
Crickets.
Nobody was calling you, asking you to hang out.
No, not really. No, I kind of was doing my thing too. Though I moved to Hawaii and I was just surfing a whole bunch. And
is that the origin story of Mauli Ola?
Yeah, I mean, not Matt's moved particularly to Hawaii, but Hawaii is a huge part of Mauli Ola, and it's probably the reason he went to Hawaii in the first place. And there was Hawaiian historian Tom Stone, and he coined it Mauli Ola, which means breath of life, and it was kind of he's like, it's a no-brainer. It has to be this, you know.
Right.
And the original founders, Charlie and James Dunlop of Mauli Ola, they were friends with Eddie Rothman, and they're like, if we're gonna name it a Hawaiian name, we need kind of the blessings of the tribal elders, in a sense. You know, Hawaii very much operates like that, like Polynesian culture, and everything is you need to show respect to be there, and and get the right permissions, and they did that. They talked to a lot of the guys in their circle, you know, the Claw Alexanders and Makua and Buttons, and they all took them to dinner, and they liked the name, and they're like, okay, you know, it's an idea to help sick kids, you know, and once they got the name Breath of Life, and what was cool is a lot of the guys migrated to it because they knew it was good, like surfing something healthy that could help people, but it also gave like some direction in their life too, you know, because we all surf a ton, right? You know, so it's nice to find a way to give back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. You know, I still can't get over Archie. I can't, like, Swayze never called you.
I know.
Like, you were like the other Bodie.
Yeah, I know.
And he didn't like reach out to you like a year later and be like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? You look like me. What are you doing? Like, nothing?
No, he didn't.
Like, when you guys were filming, like, did you have any like talks with him or no?
Oh, yeah, we hung out a lot. Yeah.
You think that's weird?
Yeah, well, he's probably busy, you know.
I know, but still, reach out. Just a phone call. Like, yo, other Bodie.
Yeah, I do.
What's going on?
Your other side, your alter ego is over here, man. It's all lonely.
I know.
When you call me, man.
I know.
You haven't called me.
Did you have his number?
No.
You didn't have his number?
I didn't.
Oh, my God.
No, I didn't.
Well, all right.
It's all right, though.
It is all right. We gotta put some clips in this.
Yeah, for sure.
How many times were you surfing in that flick? Like 10 clips?
Yeah, easy.
Really?
Yeah.
So every time he's surfing, it's really you.
Yeah.
You said except for the end.
Except for the end, it was Derek Donor, and we took the wipe out at Waimea. They wanted me to do it, and I said, well, if I'm going to take off on a wave that big at Waimea, I'm not going to fall, that's for sure. Well, I'm not going to try to.
I don't want to ask you, but how much they pay you for all that?
Pretty good.
That's all I need to say.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It was pretty good. I was stoked.
It's an interesting gig, you know what I mean? It's like, how often do you get to like be that guy?
Yeah, we worked for months, too. I mean, we started off at Trestles in California, and then I don't know what happened. They just didn't like the way I was looking or something, so they moved the whole production for all the surfing over to Hawaii. So.
Right. It's just such a crazy thing when you start thinking about, because Gary Booth, you were like with all the guys, like all the guys that were like cool of that era. They was just all there.
Yeah, I mean, I had my own dressing room at Pipe, you know, because they closed off there, and everybody had their dressing rooms on the beach there, and one of them was mine. I'd sit in there and go, because I knew everybody there. I was like, what do I need this thing for? But I had to wear a wetsuit, you know. I had to film in a full suit in Hawaii, which was pretty gnarly. We'd go out at Sunset, Pipe, and all these places, and I'd be sweating so gnarly. I'd be like, coming in, just going, oh. It was gnarly, but, you know, it was worth it.
That's so fun.
It was fun. It was a good experience.
It's a good story, though. Yeah. It definitely is. But I figured maybe you guys would be more like palsy at the end, but, you know. Oh, well. Womp,
maybe
womp.
Those guys were Keanu or something will remember me. Like, hey, what's up, man?
You should send them a DM.
Yeah, a DM.
And ask him how he's doing.
Yeah, I should, huh?
But anyway, what else we got here going on? So where's your next stop? So today was Long Beach. So after here, you go into Jersey.
Yeah.
How many people you have waiting in Jersey for you?
We got 5 families in New Jersey. We got Sam Hammer, New Jersey's finest,
of course.
hosting us. I got a lot of good friends and volunteers there. Go to Spring Lake, nice town. Probably could cruise through Asbury Park tonight and check some of the stuff out.
Yeah, you guys gonna have fun
a lot
there.
of music history there, which Archie and his daughter Poppy are super into music. So
yeah,
Stone Pony, I think we said.
Yeah. We're gonna check see if there's gigs at the Stone Pony tonight, maybe.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then Archie, you have I hear you have like a line of automotive clothing or something going on.
It's Americana clothing. It's called Archie's Garage, and
see, that's right up my alley.
Yeah, it is. I know.
Yeah,
dude.
so if you're gonna send anyone a care package,
I'm gonna see. We're actually gonna send out some care packages to a select few, and you're definitely on my list.
Because that's right on my own. Yeah.
And I was supposed to have a lot more stuff coming out on the way out here, but.
So what's the history behind that?
Well, back in the early 90s, I've always hung out in my garage, you know, because I love cars and I love working on cars and stuff. And a couple of the guys from Gotcha, this Mike Muir and this guy Wolfgang, they came to me and said, you know, we want to create a surf shop around you. It's called Archy's Garage, you know, because you always hang out in the garage and you always have all these boards in here and like all this cool stuff. So what do you think? I said, yeah, man. He goes, so we partnered up and it became a surf shop in San Clemente called Archy's Garage. And it was the coolest shop. And for a few years we had it. Everybody, like, we'd have all these, you know, T. Patterson boards, and all my sponsors were in there with all their clothing, and everything would just sell out nonstop. So, and then, you know, a few years went past, and I decided to move to Hawaii, so we shut it down. And because I wasn't there.
Right.
And so everybody always asked me, when's it coming back? When's Archie's Garage coming back? And I've tried a couple of times, but just didn't do it 100%. You know, I just kind of did. And so now we're going to just go in 100% and
well, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
we'll
put some links where I could put links on this, and for Hans and for you. Yeah. And I feel like, anything else we forgot to tap into today?
We'll probably remember in about half an hour down the road.
Yeah, we could just edit it in afterwards. But I think we nailed it all. And, and we had a great lunch at Dirty Taco.
Dude, I was just gonna say, what about the Dirty Taco? That place is so tasty.
Yeah, I mean,
and then the Kookaroo.
Oh yeah, Kookaburra.
Kookaburra.
Dirty Taco. I mean,
why did I say Kookaroo? What's it called? Kookaburra?
Kookaroo. That's what. Well, I don't know if we can say his name anymore. That's what Sean Diddy Combs said. He owned 7 Kookaroos.
Oh god. I don't know. Yeah, it was. What's it called in the coffee place?
Kookaburra.
Kookaburra. Yeah. You gotta get some good coffee there, right? You're stoked that you're so close to it.
I am stoked. I got, dude, this little epicenter of Rockville Center. It's like I have so many little things. Like I got coffee, I got food. There's bars. There's a movie theater. There's a train.
Yeah,
it's
you
like
I got a couple badass cars. That you got garages in your apartment building.
I got garages.
You got the only garages in your apartment building.
Yeah,
stoked, dude.
I am blessed to have a very cool setup for.
You have a great setup
for an apartment dweller. Yes, sir.
Dude, this is cool.
All right, guys. Well, you coming back next year with him?
Oh yeah. I mean, if he lets me. I don't know. He might not let me. It depends on see how I behave. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, fair enough. We'll do this again next year. Maybe,
I'd be stoked.
Yeah, man. Well, it was great having both of you, and I'm looking forward to my big box of Archie's Garage clothing.
That's right.
And then also seeing Hans again next year.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you, man.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Jay.
You got it.